Welcome back to Crystals and Codes. Thank you for joining me today, brothers and sisters. If you've been on a spiritual path for any length of time, chances are you've felt it. That quiet pull toward ancient Egypt, toward pyramids, toward the sun. Maybe you've had unexplained memories surface during meditation, or compelling dreams about faraway places. Maybe certain symbols have always felt deeply, inexplicably familiar. Maybe the word Ra has carried a weight for you that you couldn't quite put into words. Today, we're going to talk about why that might be. We're going to explore the history of Ra on planet Earth, who they are, where they came from, why they came, and what happened when they got here. And we're going to hear it, as much as possible, in their own words, channeled through the law of one material, a series of transmissions received in the early 1980s by a research team led by Carla Ruckert, Don Elkins, and Jim McCarty. This material is dense, it's layered, and it's profoundly beautiful. So today, we're going to sit with a key passage together, and then I'll walk you through it slowly, in simple terms, so that it can really land in your heart, not just your mind. Let's begin. The following is taken directly from the Ra Contact, Book 1 of the Law of One. The questioner is Don Elkins. Questioner: I think this might be an appropriate time to include a little more background on yourself, possibly information having to do with where you came from prior to your involvement with planet Earth, if this is possible. Ra: I am, with the social memory complex of which I am a part, one of those who voyaged outward from another planet within your own solar system, as this entity would call it. The planetary influence was that you call Venus. We are a race old in your measures. When we were at the sixth dimension, our physical beings were what you would call golden. We were tall and somewhat delicate. Our physical body complex covering, which you call the integument, had a golden luster. In this form, we decided to come among your peoples. Your peoples at that time were much unlike us in physical appearance, as you might call it. We, thus, did not mix well with the population and were obviously other than they. Thus, our visit was relatively short, for we found ourselves in the hypocritical position of being acclaimed as other than your other selves. This was the time during which we built the structures in which you show interest. Questioner: How many years in the past did you use the bell-shaped craft to come to Earth? Ra: We visited your peoples 18,000 of your years ago and did not land. Then again, 11,000 years ago. Continued later in the session. Questioner: Then for the last 2,300 years, you have been working to create as large a harvest as possible at the end of the total 75,000-year cycle. Can you state with respect to the law of one why you do this? Ra: I speak for the social memory complex termed Ra. We came among you to aid you. Our efforts in service were perverted. Our desire then is to eliminate as far as possible the distortions caused by those misreading our information and guidance. The general cause of service such as the Confederation offers is that of the primal distortion of the law of one, which is service. The one being of the creation is like unto a body, if you will accept this third density analogy. Would we ignore a pain in the leg? A bruise upon the skin? A cut which is festering? No, there is no ignoring a call. We, the entities of sorrow, chose as our service the attempt to heal the sorrow which we are calling analogous to the pains of a physical body, complex distortion. Questioner: Of what density level is Ra? Ra: I am 6th density with a strong seeking towards 7th density. The harvest for us will be in only approximately 2.5 million of your years, and it is our desire to be ready for harvest as it approaches in our space/time continuum. Questioner: And you ready yourselves for this harvest through the service you can provide. Is this correct? Ra: This is correct. We offer the law of one, the solving of paradoxes, the balancing of love, light, and light, love. One of our cycles computes to 75 million of your years. Questioner. In your service in giving the law of one, do you work with any other planets than Earth at this time? Or just Earth? Ra. We work only with this planetary sphere at this time. Okay, take a breath with me for a moment. There is so much in that passage. Let us go through it, piece by piece. Where did Ra come from? Ra tells us they originated from Venus, right here in our own solar system. I know that might sound strange at first. Venus, as we know it today, is a harsh, inhospitable planet. But Ra is speaking from a very different frame of time and dimension. They are a sixth density consciousness, a level of awareness so evolved that our third density minds can barely wrap around it. At that stage of their development, they existed in physical form that was golden-toned, tall, and slender, radiant in the most literal sense. And they made a choice, a conscious, loving choice, to come here, to us, the first physical visits. And why they left, Ra tells us they first physically visited Earth around 18,000 years ago, and again around 11,000 years ago. They traveled in bell-shaped craft, and during at least one of those visits, they walked among us, interacted with us, and, this is the part that always moves me, they built things. The structures Ra references are, most scholars of this material agree, the pyramids of Egypt, as well as potentially other megalithic sites around the world. But here's where the story takes a tender and somewhat heartbreaking turn. Because Ra was so visibly, obviously different from the people they encountered. These golden, luminous beings who arrived from the sky. Humanity didn't receive them as equals. They received them as gods. And Ra found themselves in what they describe as a hypocritical position, being worshipped rather than met, elevated rather than understood. This is so important. Ra didn't come here to be worshipped. They came to serve. They came in the spirit of unity, the recognition that all beings are one, that we are all part of the same infinite creator. And instead, their very presence created separation. It created hierarchy. It created the very opposite of what they intended. So they left. Think about how profound that is. A civilization advanced enough to travel between planets, to construct monuments that still baffle our modern engineers. And they stepped back, humbly and deliberately, because they saw that their physical presence was doing more harm than good. The distortion of their teachings. After departing, Ra continued to reach out through thought form, through what we might call inspired transmission, inner knowing, or what Ra describes as working through the call of those who genuinely sought truth. But as they share in this passage, even those efforts were perverted. The teachings were taken, twisted, and used to consolidate power rather than distribute it. The wisdom of unity became the architecture of control. And Ra, this ancient, loving collective, calls themselves the entities of sorrow because of this. Sit with that for a moment. They have been carrying grief across millennia for the unintended consequences of their well-meaning service. That is not the profile of an indifferent alien civilization. That is the profile of a deeply compassionate elder sibling of the soul, one who made a mistake with love in their heart and has spent thousands of years trying to make it right. Why are they still here? Why only Earth? This is the question that stops me every single time. Ra is a sixth density consciousness preparing for their own graduation into seventh density, a harvest that, by their reckoning, is still about 2.5 million years away. Their cycles are incomprehensible in scale. And yet, with all of the cosmos available to them, they are here, focused entirely on this one small planet. Why? Because there is a call. Because Earth is in pain. And as Ra so beautifully puts it, they are like a body that will not ignore its own wound, a festering cut, a bruise, an ache that demands attention. not out of obligation or duty in any cold sense, but out of love. The primal distortion of the law of one, as they describe it. The first and most essential expression of the Creator recognizing itself in all things. They came to heal that which they helped, however unintentionally, to wound. What this means for you, if you're watching this channel, if you're drawn to this material, if the name Ra has always carried that inexplicable resonance, I want you to consider the possibility that this is not accidental. The law of one teaches that many of the souls currently incarnated on Earth are what are called wanderers, higher density beings who chose to come into third density human form specifically to assist in this period of transition and awakening. Some of you may carry Ra energy. Some of you may have been present during those early contacts. Some of you may be holding, in your very cells and in your subtle body, the memory of those golden beings who came in love and left in sorrow. The remnants Ra left behind are not just carved in stone. They are written in you, in your longing for truth, in your refusal to accept a world defined by separation, in your quiet, persistent knowing that there is more. Ra has not abandoned us. They are here still, not in golden physical form, but woven into the fabric of this awakening, offering, as they always have, the law of one, the balancing of love and light, the remembering that we are all, without exception, one. Thank you so much for being here and for holding this material with such care. If this video spoke to your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to join our growing community of seekers, healers, and conscious explorers. Also, leave a comment below. I genuinely love reading your thoughts and your own experiences with this material. Until next time, stay in the light and love, my brothers and sisters.